Inspire, motivate, challenge.
Yeah. So as part of the restructuring evolution of Pfizer at the time, a corporate affairs and customer relations department was created. And then a director was put in charge. And then a role called medical education and customer relations was then created. And an interview process was put up. And then I applied and I was taken to the role. So with just about 3 years on the field, I was promoted as the customer relations manager for Pfizer, the region, Nigeria, Ghana, East Africa region. And we had a very interesting, it was another very fun-filled ride, you know. My boss then, Judah Bonu, was, you know, was a good man. Was a great guy, you know. And we came into a scenario where there was nothing. Remember, it's a new department. Yeah. It's a new department. Pfizer never had corporate affairs and customer relations. And he was formerly marketing director. Okay.
So
and
that was just going to be my next question.
Okay.
Was like, obviously, that would have been some kind of offshoot of marketing.
Yes. So there was this dilemma. He was marketing director. So at the time, they then collapsed sales and marketing into a commercial department where, so there's a commercial director that the product and marketing managers were reporting into. And so here he was, leaving marketing, and supposed to be managing corporate affairs and customer relations. Yeah. And so there was this, what's the difference between marketing and customer relations and all that? So we then had to practically say, you know what, okay, let's leave all what marketing. We had to then leave all what marketing was about and like create a new agenda for ourselves, you know. And so we sat down together. At the time, Pfizer was, I think they had started then the Pfizer Friendly Pharmacy Initiative and all that. Okay, so we took that and then we then sat together and he said, okay, well, you know what, let's come up with some form of training for counter assistants, you know. And he said, you know, you go and develop materials. He will develop, and we'll come together and look at what we both designed and all that. By the time I finished my spade work and I came back, I said, look, guy, what you've done is good enough. Let's run. You know, so it was on an experimental basis. We rolled out, I think the first we rolled out, we created a national campaign. After we did that first run, it was so successful that before the end of the year, the company commissioned the second one. To say what, you know, you need to go again. And then by the next year, it became a regional program. Okay. Such that, and since I was one that had the soup and the spoon and everything, I had to then deploy that program, I think in 8 cities in Nigeria, 3 cities in Ghana, 3 cities in Kenya. And so here I was traveling from Tadi to Kumasi to Accra to, I want to remember my cities now, to Nairobi, to Eldoret, to, you know, and it was fun for me, you know. And I learned a lot of cross-cultural things. And one of the biggest shockers I got was that in Nigeria, if you want to do a program for pharmacists or their staff, the only option for you to do it in the day, morning, afternoon. If you try it in Ghana and Kenya, they won't come. I think they work in the day and play at night. So I remember doing all our events at night. I remember Kenya, we did the Kenyan event, we finished around 11 p.m. and the place was still full. Everybody was just having a nice time. I was like, okay, now we are learning something new. So after cumulatively 2005 till 2013, about 8 years, I felt it was time to go. And so I put in my papers. Now that whole story is story for another day. But it was a largely, you know, in this part of the world, everything is God, everything is not God, you know. But this was God, you know, because I had done some some spiritual gymnastics, okay. And let me see how much of it I can put in perspective of this discussion. So way back in school, I've done something, I'd shared a message or something, and I asked the fellowship then to say, look, how much would you need to have to give God this for this purposes, so that people don't get trapped with the number, let's say 100 million. So I said, how much do you need to have to give God 100 million? People said, 1 billion, 2 billion, this. And then I said, look, the correct answer is 100 million, which is giving God everything you have. You know, you need to have only 100 million to give God 100 million. Yeah. So bringing it back to in perspective now. So then I looked at so like I said, I'm not going to use the real figure so that people don't get distracted. I looked at my bank, my books, and I was like, I've worked for 7 years in this company because I was busy having fun all through. It wasn't about money, no. And so I said, I've not even saved up this year. So to follow with the narrative, my target is to save 100 million. We know it's not 100 million, because even now 100 million now, you will see me here. I'll be streaming this interview from the Bahamas. So God helped me that year. Through work, through hustle, through everything I do. I got, by December, when I added what was in this account plus what was in this account, I had 100 million. And they did not tap me in the shoulder from heaven. He said, remember what you said about 100 million? Now you have it. Do the needful. And I nearly said, get it behind me, Satan. But, so I gave all that money to him. And then I belong to this other school of faith that most people, in the last few months or years, the issue of Christianity and tithe and offering has been a very, contentious, but that's not for today. And so I belong to one of those stupid people that believe God enough to say, okay, my first whatever for the year you get. So remember, you've given away everything. Yeah. And then when you want to start the rebuilding process, then you give away. Did I say I just got married around that time? Around that time.
Like when did you start a family?
So so let me do some calculation to know whether. Okay, I was married, and I think at that time I was also pregnant with my second child. Okay. So that's not the time to play games at all. And so after that January, I did what at the time was now normal, And then, it was one that said, you forgot what you said. He now came back again. And I said, now it's time to go. So without anything to fall back on, no reserves, no nothing, he says, now it's time to go. And the only scripture that came to mind was, when God told Abraham, I'm taking to a place I will show you. He didn't tell him where. And so in my stupidity, I said, yes, Lord, let's go. And that's how we started the journey. So I intentionally resigned. People don't understand it. People were, young man, to what? But I intentionally resigned on my birthday. So that I'll remember the dates when I started this stupidity of 18, So, so May 11, 2013, I left Pfizer to whatever I'm doing now. And so...
Wait, sorry, just so that I'm clear. So you're saying it was basically a spiritually led decision.
100%.
That made you leave Pfizer at the time.
Yeah.
To start,
whatever I'm doing now. The many things I'm doing now. Yeah.
Okay.